afternoon. You're watching i24News. I'm Danny Swibel with the hour's top stories. We begin with the Greek debt crisis. The EU summit on Greece has been canceled as Eurozone finance ministers meet to discuss starting talks on a new loan for Athens. Yesterday, however, they warned that Prime Minister-elect Tsipras must go beyond painful austerity measures to receive a third bailout to keep his country in the euro. The European Commission Vice President said they hope negotiations will start as early as tomorrow.
Eurogroup will continue discussions today. As you saw, discussions were quite complicated, so we hope for more progress today. I think it's relatively unlikely that European Commission will get a mandate to start the formal negotiations as regards third program or ASM program today, but I think Eurogroup can prepare and provide input for discussions of leaders later.
And we move to Israel now, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday slammed world powers over the imminent nuclear deal with Iran being discussed in Vienna, saying that the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani is heading a hate march in which the U.S. and Israeli flags are being burned. The Prime Minister added that the deal currently is in the work, paves a path for Iran to create multiple nuclear bombs, and endangers the world at large.
Iran's leader, Khamenei, has been quoted as saying that it is necessary to prepare to fight the U.S., regardless of whether there will be a deal. Iranian President Rouhani leads a hate march in the streets of Tehran, a march where the flags of the U.S. and Israel are burned, and where thousands call death to America, death to Israel. All this is happening while in Vienna there is a procession of concessions to Iran. Concessions even on matters that were determined as red lines in the Lausanne deal, which in itself is a bad deal that paves Iran's path to many nuclear bombs and gives it hundreds of billions of dollars for its terror and conquest machine, and through this deal endangers the peace of the entire world.
And a Hamas official told a Russian media outlet yesterday that former quartet representative to the Middle East, Tony Blair, is the intermediary between the organization and Israel on the issue of 2 Israeli citizens being held in Gaza. The official said that Blair had officially met with Hamas leadership, including Khaled Mashal, in Doha, in order to try and reach a solution on the matter. Over the weekend, senior Israeli politician and defense officials said that Israel will not free Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the 2 Israelis in the Gaza Strip. And we stay in the region. The Israeli Prison Service announced last night that Palestinian prisoner Khader Adnan, who went on a 56-day hunger strike, was released. Adnan, who is in administrative detention, is a senior Islamic Jihad figure. According to Palestinian sources, negotiations last month between his lawyers and Israel concluded that if the prisoner would cease refusing food, he'd be released in July rather than September.
I see the happiness among Palestinians flowing, and the Palestinian pain and hope for the freedom of all prisoners, God willing. The occupation made a mistake in arresting me the first time and the second time. Today the occupation makes the mistake of releasing me because they think they'd have bought the Palestinian happiness if they release me earlier, which is not typical. This is a cowardly act of the occupation that fears the Palestinian happiness and love for the Palestinian prisoners.
We move now to Mexico, where notorious drug lord Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo, has escaped again from a maximum security prison. Authorities have launched a search operation and suspended flights at a nearby airport. Guzman, dubbed the biggest drug lord of all time by Forbes magazine, was the head of the Sinaloa cartel, which is known to smuggle massive amounts of illegal drugs into the United States. He has been serving a 20-year sentence since being arrested in Guatemala in 1993. And moving now to Paraguay, where the auditorium at a local college was turned into a makeshift church in the capital for Pope Francis yesterday. On the 7th day of his 3-nation homecoming, the pontiff spread his message of love, compassion, and environment in South America, but was warned against corruption.
Corruption is the plague. It's the gangrene of society. For example, no politician can do his job if he is being bribed by people who are corrupt. Give me this power, give me that, or I will do this to you. This happens in all the places in the world, because that is how it is. If a country really wants to preserve its dignity, it must yank it out. I am speaking about something universal.
And moving from South America to North America, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump was on the move yesterday, passing from one state to another to deliver his message to the American people. and massive crowds turnout, as well as his poll numbers. ABC News has more.
We have to secure our borders. We have to do something to take back our country.
It's the theme that's now fueling Donald Trump's campaign for president.
I didn't think that the immigration thing would take on a life like it has.
But it has, along with the size of his crowds and his poll numbers. Trump is surging, now near the top of the GOP presidential pack, closing in on former Florida Governor Jeb Bush.
Do you know the sanctuary cities? Do you know he had 5 of them in Florida while he was governor? Can you believe this? I didn't know that.
His message, illegal immigrants are a clear and present danger.
They're coming from all over the world. You have people coming from the Middle East that are going right through Mexico and past the border.
The billionaire real estate developer introduced a man who said his son was shot dead by an illegal immigrant.
Found out the guy was on his 3rd gun charge. Now you have somebody illegal in the country on their 3rd gun charge. He's been arrested 3 times already.
And Trump also shared this Phoenix, Arizona stage with Sheriff Joe Arpaio, an ardent advocate of getting tough with illegals.
Trump, not Trump! Trump, not Trump!
Trump's rhetoric has rattled nerves on both sides of the issue. Even Republicans are keeping him at arm's length.
He also said it in a way that's going to kill my party.
Today from Trump, a few words of conciliation.
And I love legal immigration.
But no sign of compromise as Donald Trump tries to seal his biggest deal.
Never a dull moment with the Don. A belly of Hollywood stars walked the press line for 20th Century Fox yesterday at the San Diego Comic-Con Festival. Marvel superhero films Deadpool and Fantastic Four shared exclusive clips, trailers, and spoilers with fans at the event. Ryan Reynolds, who played Deadpool, said this will be his last role as a superhero after his leading role in the box office flop, Green Lantern.
I think I've played enough superheroes to say that, you know, if ever one came my way again that wasn't Deadpool, by all means, I think somebody else should probably have a crack at it. I've had a great run at that, and I've been very lucky to be able to work in that medium to varying degrees of success, admittedly. And you know, I just feel like this is the one I've wanted to play for 11 years, and I'm finally here doing it, and that's all I could ever ask for.
And we move to sports news, where Swiss veteran Martina Hingis paired with India's Sania Mirza, winning a women's doubles title at Wimbledon on Saturday. The two beat Russia's 2-seeded Makarova and Vesnina 5-7, 7-6, and 7-5, winning the final 2 matches before a very noisy crowd under their center court roof. In the men's doubles finals, it was a disappointing day for Jamie Murray, Andy Burry's younger brother, who along with partner John Piers lost the final to 4th seeds Roger and Takao, 7-6, 6-4, and 6-4. But younger brother Andy, who was defeated in the singles semifinals by Roger Federer, watched on and gave his support. Burundi's presidential elections were postponed by 6 days after the UN warned going through with the vote could spark an explosion of violence. Burundi is plagued by unrest since the April announcement by President Nkurunziza that will run for a 3rd term, despite the constitutional limiting the president to 2 terms. The vote will now be held on July 21st. And those are your latest reports from i24 News. Please be sure to join us again in 20 minutes for the latest headlines, and check us out on our website, i24news.tv, as well as Facebook and Twitter. You could also find us in French as well as in Arabic. I'm Danny Swibel. Thank you so much for watching.